With Nintendo's massive library of games, there is no doubt that some go missing and sometimes forgotten. So, in the first episode of Obscurity, we are going taking a look at a game called Wrecking Crew 98, which was a downloadable game for the Super Famicom Nintendo Power Service, and later on it had a release in a cartridge. So before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button to see future videos on the channel, and let's take a look at Wrecking Crew 98. Wrecking Crew 98 was obviously released in 1998, and since then, there hasn't been a re-release nor a translation in the West. That's where the fans come into play because the game is fully translated and is fully playable. You can also put it on your SNES Classic as it works perfectly fine in most emulators. So to begin, let's start with the single player mode. In the story, we see that Bowser has built a lot of secret bases, which aren't very secret at all because they're killing all of the plant life from their huge shadows. So Mario goes to get his magic hammer and sets up on his journey to destroy all of the secret bases. Now let's talk about the gameplay, which isn't similar at all to the original Wrecking Crew. In that game, you have to destroy all of the different blocks and try to clear them all without falling or not being able to clear them. But in Wrecking Crew 98, it plays similar to something like Tetris Attack or even just regular Tetris. How the game works is that you need to line up at least 3 of the same colored blocks. The longer the line you make, the more powerful the attack. The attack is decided through what color and symbol you match up. For example, the pink tiles will spawn a vehicle that will make the player bounce around, or the yellow panels will spawn in unbreakable panels. So you always have to think what panels and attacks you want to use for the other side. So sometimes you want to use the unbreakable blocks if the CPU is struggling a lot. Whoever clears all the panels without stacking up over the limit wins. There are quite a lot of levels in the game, but the only other thing that does get changed are the level design, aesthetic, and the character that you are up against. Nothing is really though added to spice up the experience in the gameplay, as not really new things are introduced, but the difficulty definitely makes up for that, as the game is really quite challenging. You really have to be on guard and very fast, and look at the other side of the screen always. The game can also go on for quite a while as the CPU is extremely overpowered. Next, let's take a look at Versus Battle, where you can play with a friend or a computer player. This mode feels more like your typical puzzle game, where you can select the amount of difficulty and also pick the characters other than Mario. You unlock these characters as you defeat them, which I think is really cool, and it adds motivation into the game, and it feels like you're unlocking a little roster. If you don't know how to use a mechanic, you can always go to the help section, and there's a whole bunch of different instructions that they show you how to use, and actually a little kind of movie, so they don't just give you text and how to use it. They actually show you step by step of each of the different mechanics, so if you want to learn, this is the perfect way to do so. I would honestly say that Wrecking Crew 98 is a lost hidden gem that not a lot of people know about. You can find it pretty easily on the internet, so go ahead and try it for yourself, as it is a fun game with a lot of unlockables. But there are a couple glitches here and there, so definitely if you're going to use an emulator, always save your state because it might crash. Anyway guys, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and as always, feel free to leave a comment, leave a like, and make sure to subscribe to see future videos on the channel. And without further ado, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.